And welcome back to Lantern Corps videos, or Lantern Corp. Lantern Corp videos. Welcome back to Lantern Corp. Lantern Corps. So anyway, this one comes up from Shadow King, who has the question, what Lantern Corps do I think Jean Grey belongs in? Now, Jean Grey's an interesting character. I think I'm going to start limiting things to 4, but I'll explain reasonings for, just because it takes up a huge amount of the video. But I'll explain my reasonings for other Lantern Corps if I think there's a chance. But I'm going to get a couple right out of the way right now when it comes to Jean. She's a very unique character. It's because she's so associated with the Phoenix half the time, we kind of seem to associate that with her a little bit. But we have to remember that's not always really what her character is. But as it stands, I don't think she's an Avarice Lantern. Let's get that out of the way right now. I also don't think she's a Red Lantern. Now, this all depends on what version of Jean you're looking at, admittedly. But if we're going by the comics, I'm going to say I don't think she has enough innate rage in her on her own. With the Phoenix in her, which is just prying at all those primal emotions, yeah, it's a different story. 100%. You could make that argument. But as it stands, normal Jean, I don't think is a Rage Lantern. Compassion's not a bad option, but I think the other 4 I got here are just better options. And I don't think Hope is a very good option, just due to the fact that she's become, frankly, the villain so many freaking times that I don't think there's enough hope left in her, to have faith in her. Add on the fact she keeps dying, too, so, it's hard to have faith in a dead person. But now let's actually move on to some of the Lantern Corps I think she can qualify for. I think right out of the gate, we gotta factor in the Lantern Corps of Love, Sapphire Lanterns. Now, this isn't because she's a woman, even though the majority of them do seem to be women. Sexist much, DC? It's because a lot of what she does is out of the love she has. The love for Scott, who's, her longest lover, her husband, all that. But she's also loved Wolverine. She's loved, she's a love for her extended family, the X-Men. All she does is out of love most of the time. So I do think the Sapphires are a decent Corps to possibly consider her for. I also think that Fear is a surprising good. She is an Omega level mutant. I think a lot of people sometimes overlook that. Plus, then you add in every time she's been a part of the Phoenix, or the Phoenix has always been a part of her, I should say, that she has inspired a lot of fear. Like, she will destroy those world. And yeah, I think Fear has to be on the table when you're talking about Jean. Now, the one, believe it or not, I actually don't think she makes for a very good Green Lantern. She's one of those characters that has struggled a lot with, her own self-identity, her psychic abilities working against her, the Phoenix, all that. She has overcome great fear, but she always seems to, she tends to get scared more easily than some of the other main heroes. That's not to say she's just like, oh my god, no, but she seems to just deal with a lot more struggles that I think would prevent her from being a Green Lantern, at least for an extended period of time. She could probably get a ring, but she probably couldn't hold on to a ring. But now I come to the last 2 big ones, and that is life and death. Both of these, believe it or not, I think are very good avenues to go with Jean. Black, for obvious reasons. She's died almost as many times as Kenny has. I wish I was being facetious about that, but I'm kind of not. Actually, that's not true. Kenny's died way more times. I think there was a point where he was dying nearly every episode. No, I remember one episode of South Park where he just phased back in the beginning of the series, like, hey guys. And then we learned the truth about him and why that happens. But yeah, because Jean has died so much, she would make for a perfect Black Lantern. However, she's also a Nexus being. Similar to Scarlet Witch, she exists within all facets of reality at that point. And she exists in every plane of existence. And her connection with the Phoenix Force, which, while a giant consuming monster of, fire and death, is also a being of life. It is life, the Phoenix Force. And her connection with that being one of the most suitable, she's been one of the most suitable hosts the Phoenix Force ever goes for, I think makes her actually a very prime candidate for the White Lantern ring. Now, the catch for that, though, is the Phoenix Force's tendency to destroy makes it so I don't think, like with a Green Lantern ring, she'd keep a White Lantern ring. So right from the gate, I'm going to say that, White she would not be able to hold on to, and she could not hold on to a Green Lantern ring as well. So that leaves us with Black, Yellow, and Love. Unfortunately, I think she's died both too many times and has posed too big of a threat for Love to be the defining trait of her anymore, sadly. Not to say that she doesn't love with all her heart, but unfortunately, in terms of Lantern Corps, I think these two bad boys are going to supersede that. But that now brings us to the final thing. Is it a Black Lantern ring, or is it a Yellow Lantern ring? And I will say this. It really is going to depend on what Jean's state of mind is going to be at the time. Now, if Jean's dead already, there's no question she's getting a Black Lantern ring. If Jean is alive, fear versus death, I might go fear. Because there's more she can do. She's more feared alive than she is dead, obviously. So, and then obviously you factor in everything that's dealt with the Phoenix Force over the years. I think fear is a better candidate because people just know how dangerous she can be. So my actual money, believe it or not, is on fear. Now I think death is the next second place candidate. I think love is the third, and I think white is the fourth. Followed by, you could make an argument for green. In compassion, she certainly isn't without it. It's just that, I think these all supersede that. Ultimately, though, there's a chance she could qualify for nearly any one of these, except for Avarice. I just don't think Avarice is going to work. But ultimately, that is just my opinion. What do you think, though? Do you think Jean's Lantern Corps is the Fear Corps, like I mentioned? Or do you think it's any of the other ones? Or any of the other Lantern Corps more likely? I personally think it's either Fear or Death. Fear is probably the more often likely one. Then again, it depends on how often she stays dead. So I guess Black could be the more often one. And then I think, like I said, Love, Sapphire, and White Life are the big four. It's the final two candidates, the strongest ones. Everything else, I think, is kind of a crapshoot. But what do you think in the comments below? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Which corps do you think she would belong to? Put in the comments below, let me know. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know we'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching, though, and I'll see you folks next time. Later.